Coach, there's lots of talk about how you have changed the way the Afghanistan batters have batting in the middle order. Is it like there's something specific talk going on? Because before the World Cup, you made a very point that they know how to clear the boundary, but the main challenge is to hit through the ground and run ones and twos. So Afghanistan in that department has done pretty extraordinary well. So your thought on that? Is there any specific work gone through behind it?
I think it's a case more of just being better all around and thinking more about your all-round game. I think Afghanistan naturally grows up playing a lot more T20 cricket format than any other format, so the skills for T20 are there. It's about adding to that sort of base of T20 skills. As you see, 50 over cricket's a long time, and you have to be able to, I think, ride the sort of ebbs and flows of a game. You know, the thing that I'm really happy about from last game is we lost a wicket in the first over, and Rahmat Shah was able to go into number 3 and soak up that pressure. But still keep scoring at a good tempo. So that shows the ability to soak up pressure at times, which you have to do in 50 over cricket, but also then accelerate at certain times. So wanting and trying to enable batters and give them the game and help them grow the game so they can have both facets of the game: pressure, soaking it up, rotation of strike, and obviously accelerating and boundary hitting.
So what's your biggest? You are the coach of the Afghanistan cricket team, but what's your biggest learning with these bunch of boys who have been doing exceptionally well with what's your key learning with the bunch?
Well, I think the key thing for me is just learning, understanding the game from a different point of view, a different culture, a different way of thinking about it compared to how the game is spoken about, thought about, and coached in England, or perhaps growing up in South Africa and having another complete culture in a different country's way of thinking about cricket, and trying to adapt to that, but also add to it to make it as good as possible. So that's been the biggest learning for me, and the thing that I enjoy doing the most.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
A few hours ago, Colin Ackerman was here from the Netherlands camp, and I asked him about countering the spin attack of Afghanistan. And in reply, he said that Afghanistan team has 3 good spinners who have done well in the T20 format, but the 50 overs format is a bit different thing. So, as a coach, do you think if you have talent in the side, then format really matters?
I think it's about being consistent in those formats. I think our spinners are ranked quite highly in ODI cricket as well as T20, so I'm not quite sure what that sort of comment is, but I think they bowl well in all formats. So I don't think it's a case of just talent, as your question suggests. I think it's a case of experience. It's a case of nous. It's a case of assessing the conditions like our spinners do, communicating that, what length as well that spinners should bowl, having that. So it's not just about the format, and it's about the moment and the occasion as well. It's a lot goes into the melting pot to make a good spinner, certainly T20 cricket, but also in ODI cricket, where generally spinners are going to bowl with only 4 fielders out, and that's a skill in itself to be able to do that as a finger spinner and as a wrist spinner, to have the control as a wrist spinner, but also the experience and the skill as just a normal finger spinner with no mystery.
Jonathan, Ikram had an injury in the previous game, and Gurbaz had to take the gloves. So what's the status on Ikram's injury right now? Is he available for the game?
Yeah, he's available, yeah.
Okay. What kind of injury was it?
I just hurt his finger.
This is the previous home ground of Afghanistan team at Ikana, and how you people are looking to utilize benefits?
I think when it comes to home ground advantage, I think they have good experience of playing here in the at the ground, but a case of World Cup matches, I think they've relayed the pitch a little bit, so it's a little bit different to how it has been in the past. So I don't think experience plays that big a role, but I would say previous World Cup experience from the players as well. We've won against big sides, against the big test playing nations. I think tomorrow's challenge is going to be playing against a very good Dutch side who are in form, and that's going to be the challenge for us tomorrow. So very excited for it. So I don't think there's any advantage having previously played here, maybe, because I think Holland have played here before as well. I'm pretty sure. So they've got probably more experience in the World Cup of playing here than we have. So it's all about how we play tomorrow.
Trott, the most trending question this time in all over the world is Afghanistan is going to make place in top 4 in semi-finals. Lots of permutation and combinations in your mind this time?
Well, we're not going to make the semis, by just talking about it. We have to play good cricket. So as long as we play good cricket, we'll give ourselves the best chance of being able to do that. So that starts tomorrow, and how well we start tomorrow is going to be crucial, and how well we finish. It's important that when it comes to World Cup games, everything's different conditions. We've moved away. We've had, Pune is very different to Lucknow. Delhi is very different. So that's the challenges of the World Cup: is different conditions, different grounds, different climates. So as long as we adjust ourselves well, we had a good practice yesterday. Hopefully, we have another good practice today, and we're ready for tomorrow.
Coach, there are lots of talk about Ajay Jadeja's mentorship in the Afghanistan team, and what type of help you are getting from him?
Well, I think AJ obviously brings a lot of experience, having played a lot of cricket in India, and he's always a good sounding board with regards to conditions and the venues, and probably the sort of others, and also the other subcontinent teams that we've played against. Adds a lot of experience in that way, having played a lot against those countries. So that's he brings his vast experience to the players, but also as for myself as a coach, as a good sounding board with decision making and sort of planning going forward for each game, and also another good set of eyes on the players to see how they preparing for the matches and how their careers and talent is being utilized.
One more question, please. The Afghan players are very good looking in a longer version of game at present. They are very patient in batting. How this change came?
Well, I just think it's a case of a lot of thought and going behind it from the players, and also realizing how much time you actually do have in the 50-over game. I think when chasing those targets, we saw what is possible if you have a good solid start and you have in batsmen in the last 10 overs. That's happened for us, but it's also happened against us in games where it's been difficult to stop the opposition with set batters in the last 10 overs. And so I think having that sort of vision, knowing that you can score quickly towards the back end of games, I think that's the pennies. We're starting to see that drop with the players. Obviously, there's a difference between talking about it, but actually going out and doing it. And we're seeing players go out and do it now, and it's not just a case of the players, talking about it. Because that's what we've done. We've spoken a lot about it and worked really hard to try and achieve it. So it's nice to see the players do well and have a smile on their face when they're there batting at the end of the game, having chased, in the last 2 games and won.
Coach, are we going to see all spin attack here? That means all your 4 spinners will play here, because this pitch is more helpful to spinners, and the opposition team is not so good in playing spin.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the pitch? No, I think we're gonna try and pick the side for the best conditions, the best side that we can pick. So we'll just have to see how that shapes up tomorrow when we get to the ground.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
What do you think about the dew factor? How the playing 11 will be affected by the dew factor that is having here in the Lucknow?
It does come into equation, but we saw the dew not really have an effect, when India played England. So you got to weigh it up, obviously, when you're selecting the side, but also the decision to the toss. So we've sort of seen the toss not have a huge effect on outcomes of the games, and whatever we do, whether we bat or bowl first, having won the toss or lost the toss, we've got to make sure we do it better than the Netherlands tomorrow.
Can you comment on the dew factor in overall and on all the games that you have played, whether the dew factor has any role in India right now? Because in some games like India did here, the ball was turning even though there was a dew. So overall, if you can make a comment in this.
I think it depends on different types of pitches and also the amount of dew. Certainly you've seen in Pune now the pitch there, the dew has played a role in being able to chase, and it definitely it's really tricky to sort of sit here and not talk about it, because I haven't played at all the grounds. You see, we've only played at Delhi where it didn't have much of effect. Chennai, it had a bit of an effect. Pune, it had a little bit of effect. So everywhere it's just a little bit. But again, as I said, the dew doesn't determine whether you win or lose, because we saw India win here bowling last against England. It's how you bat, how you bowl, and how you get yourself into the competition and outplay the opposition.
Hello, coach. This is not specific to World Cup. Afghanistan has been using Mujib as an opening bowler for quite a long time. So what do you feel about what qualities do you think has helped him to do this so well?
Well, there's a few things to why Mujib does so well. It's one of the only spinners I know who wants to bowl in the power play. He sees that as his role, and I think that can only benefit us as a side, but also that's what he benefits from in mentality-wise. You don't want somebody who doesn't want to bowl in the power play, so especially a spinner. So to have that ability, but also the way people around the world know how good a bowler he is, the variations he has. He can manipulate which way he spins the ball depending on the strength of the opposition batsman. And his accuracy, certainly in the last few games, has been getting better and better, and really, really good, and been bowling world class in the power play. So I'm looking certainly tomorrow for him to continue his form and make inroads and have an impact on the game tomorrow.
Coach, in Chennai, you guys played Noor. He did exceptionally well. Next game, he was benched. Faruqi came in, he picked 4. It's like horses for courses, as far as we understand. So how difficult it is as a coach to tell an 18-year-old that, okay, mate, you have done well, but this pitch, we are trying different combination, and you are warming the bench. So what is it difficult to have a talk?
I think it's always difficult to tell a person you're leaving them out after the way that they bowl, especially a young person who's so ambitious and talented, but also is determined to do well. But I think it's great in his attitude in Noor, I think you're referring to, that he knows his career, and you sort of explain to him this is the reasons, but well done. But make sure that you keep working hard, because the thing that I'm most happy about in that he has been with the side for almost 2 months, and he got his opportunities because he's been training really well. He took his opportunity. So there's no hesitation in picking him again if I have to, or if the conditions suggest that he should be picked. I know that he'll be ready and excited for him to play. What's that?
Did you guys know about the Champion Trophy qualification scenario before the tournament, and is it in your mind now? Right.
I didn't know about it before the tournament. No. Thank you. Cheers.